Conversations and Opinions. I'm Clarissa.
I'm Shay.
I'm Karonica.
And I'm Tarvis. This topic today, people, let me just tell you. Me time in relationships. Okay, I was watching the Judge Steve Harvey, and there was a couple on there, biracial couple, and the gentleman wanted his wife to come to bed at 7 p.m., okay? And, she's a designer, so, she does her best creativity at night. So she was still going to bed with him, and she was laying in the bed just staring at him. Like, okay, hurry up and go to sleep so I can get up. And so she gets up after he's asleep, but the minute she moves, he jumps right up. Like, where you going? Why you leaving me? And I'm like, is this an adult man? I'm not quite understanding what's happening. So, Steve was like, sir, you're going to have to let her be her. Mm-hmm. You're chasing your dreams, so let her chase her dreams, because she can actually do design work at night, but she's also trying to be accommodating to her husband. Mm-hmm. So when he sleeps, she should be able to get up and, go and do whatever she needs to do. But when I saw that, I was like, let me be clear. In any relationship, marriage, dating, or whatever, I feel like it's 7 days in a week. And if you're married, you need to have at least 4 days, which is the majority of the week, for you, your spouse, whatever it is that you guys want to do. 3 days out of that 7, you're allowed to do whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to hang out with the fellas, if you just want it to be me and you or whatever, I feel like that's the compromise, because what you don't ever want to do is lose yourself in a relationship or marriage. Yeah. And that's what I think we all have done. If you've ever been married, raise my hand, because I did. But I was just shocked that this dude was really like, babe, don't go, like a little kid. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so what are y'all thoughts? Because I'm like, no, that's craziness.
Oh, well, on that, it sounds like something else was wrong with him.
Yeah.
But, I feel you. I feel like everybody should be able to do what they like to do. You know what I mean? We all like to do different things.
Correct.
Whether you're married or not, what you might feel like is your me time is sitting there watching back-to-back episodes of your favorite show. Yeah. And somebody else might be like, that's dumb. Like, why, what are you doing? Yeah. So we all have our thing that we do that we're like, oh, I can't wait till I get home and do that, or I can't wait to go to this spa day or whatever it is. So, but me time is what it is. It's me time.
Correct.
And to me, that wasn't even me time that she was having.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
She was actually doing work.
Correct.
I shouldn't have to wait. Okay. If you have kids or ever been around kids, you have to wait for babies to go to sleep to get stuff done.
Come on.
I shouldn't have to wait for you to go to sleep to get my work done. Right. If I work, I work. I have to work. And so you know that. If I don't work, things don't get done around here. Right. So, that's my thoughts on that.
All right, Shay.
Look, all I'm saying is you have to evaluate the person you with before you get with this person. Because a needy person won't allow you to have me time. Yeah. If you're that needy that I can't get out the bed, I can't move, I can't lean over from your embrace, it's a problem. I mean, my thing is you should be able to go hang out with your friends and enjoy yourself without a person like blowing your phone up all the time. It's one thing that you check in, but it's another thing that you just don't trust that person enough to be on their own without you.
You're losing your mind.
Yes.
What are they doing?
Losing their mind.
Last mind. Because
and sometimes I don't even think it's about trust. Some of that is control. It's like, okay, it's not that they think you're out cheating every time. They just don't want you away from them.
Right.
Like, because if they don't trust you to get up out of the bed in the middle of the night to be in your house somewhere else, that's more than just a Oh,
that's a psychological problem.
That you gotta make announcements. I gotta go pee. I'm getting up to pee.
Right.
Wow.
It's like,
this is the movement, the pee movement. I gotta go pee pee.
That's
Oh God, no.
yeah.
I would lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a scary relationship.
Yeah, and
Because
I think that's
it's going to start there and go into other places as time goes on.
escalate to the to a place where it's like, I actually don't like this.
Right.
Don't want to be.
I
here
actually
anymore.
don't like you.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There it is.
So what was your thoughts?
So
Chloe?
Karonica was saying some of these things you have to have as a discussion beforehand, but some of these things you don't know until you like are in it. Because if you're dating and you spend the night every once in a while, you know, you maybe not getting up in the middle of the night a bunch of times like your regular routine. But once you are in it and in a routine and you have a person who, like my husband, goes to bed extremely early. And I'm a night owl.
Okay.
So when you told me about the show, I cracked up laughing because I do not go to bed early. But my husband is 8 o'clock. I mean, he is gone. Like he upstairs, showered, ready, gone. And me, I used to be in the beginning. I laughed when you told me about that because that was me in the beginning, like sitting in the bed, like, I usually have another 5 or 6 hours in me after this. So what am I gonna do? So I think you have to have conversations, like Karonica was saying. Sometimes you have to understand somebody's routines are theirs and yours are yours. Because my husband gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, and starts his day. That's typically not how mine goes. I start at 6:30 or 7. So you have to have discussions or you're going to have trouble on your hands.
Oh, again, a play on words. Conversations.
Very
is
important.
Where things, I think, help things progress.
Yeah.
Help things not be so contentious. And it's just mind-blowing that somebody or an adult would be that needy.
Well, it exists.
But then you got to also think about, in my opinion, a lot of times when people are like that, it's because of past traumas. And sometimes once a person has been hurt or abandoned or whatever the case may be, they tend to have these things that they don't realize that they have sometimes until somebody bring it to their attention. Or sometimes it takes several times for someone to bring it to their attention for them to realize, okay, that is a problem.
This is a habitual
thing. The first
thing
time somebody brings to your attention, you thinking they're trying to be smart.
Yeah.
I guess for me, piggybacking off of what you said earlier, of course, like sometimes you don't know. I thought about that because I'm trying to figure out how people don't know. Like, to me, those are triggers that you might not know to the extent, but people show a little if you're dating, people show highlights of who they are. Now, whether you pay attention to it is up to you, but because the only reason I'm saying that because I had to evaluate stuff because I'm like, we always be like, oh, you don't be seeing it. Yeah, you do.
You just didn't
label
it.
Yeah, you didn't. You see little things like when you're with someone 24/7, you see it more.
Yes, quickly. Yeah,
but you do see stuff like, am I tripping? Like, or is this person just called me 20 times?
Yeah,
like, you know, like those are things that are there, but we ignore.
Okay, so
thing is cute at first.
Yeah, I was just gonna say until it's not. Yeah.
Okay, so then with me time, with the example that I gave, is that a deal breaker? Or when you're having conversations about it? I mean, this person can be the perfect person for you. At what point do you be like, look, now, I can't do this on a continuum. Let's come to a compromise.
In the beginning?
Conversations. So do you think that's a deal breaker? Or, well, I shouldn't say a deal breaker. Do you think that's grounds for therapy when you're in a marriage? Or is it a deal breaker when you're dating? So what does that look like?
I feel like it's more than just me time, especially with the scenario that you provided. I think that if you know that we both work and things have to get done and I have to try to get up at midnight to finish my work because I'm pleasing you.
You won't allow me to get.
But let me explain. She didn't work. She's at home with the kids.
That's work.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you say job, I just want clarity because most people think it's they're both leaving the house and then they both come back. But she's at home all day with their child.
Well, that's more reason for her to
exactly.
But
exactly,
I just feel like anything, whether it's you wanting to watch this show for this next 3 hours and he sleep, and I know that I'm not trying to disrupt his sleep, and you get up and want to go into the other room to watch your show. I just feel like if anybody has that much control, that if I twist, or because if he's doing that for that, she can't go to the bathroom.
Jesus.
It's like, so if I twist you, you're alert. Like you're like, first of all, it's not healthy for him or her because, I mean, come on, like relax.
How are you waking up every 12 seconds?
So I think that is because if a person's like that, it's not just there. It's during the daytime if she's going to the store too long.
Yep.
Or I have to go to the store with you.
Yep.
That's just not at night when he sleep. That's just part of it. Because you're not just, okay, it's only at nighttime when I need you not to move around. No. You couldn't have been at Target that long. What other store?
Oh my goodness!
It's those things that
I would lose it.
But those are things. If a person's like that, they're carrying over to everything. If you're with your girlfriend, well, why are you going with your girlfriend? Well, where y'all going?
Or
I don't like that girlfriend.
Or they're calling you right there. Now they don't like your friend because you hang out with the friend. I've seen it.
Yeah. So this is actually a two-part because we're talking about control and also me time.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I do think that every relationship, no matter what type of relationship, needs some separation.
Absolutely.
And me time. Even when you have children, you love your children. You will give your life for them. But I do not have to be around you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with you in my face. I think it's healthy. So every relationship needs and deserves for people to go their own way and do what they, do what they want to do sometimes. And if you can't let your spouse, your partner, go hang out with other groups of people for long periods of time, you're smothering, you're controlling, and at some point that person's going to feel imprisoned by you. And every time you're gone is their relief time. And you don't want people to feel like every time you go out of town, okay. Right. Or every time you're at work, I got 5 hours to myself. Or something like that. It's like, okay.
Right.
So, we're talking control and me time. So, in the me time section of this conversation, how much is appropriate me time to have without your spouse feeling like you just don't want to be around them?
That's what I said. It's 7 days in a week. So, I'm okay with 3 for you to decide what it is that you want to do.
Without you, they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Whatever you plan, though. But
that's how
it shouldn't even be scheduled.
It should be a scheduled.
You said it should.
It should be a scheduled time.
Yeah, that's why I said
because
3 days.
When you're in a relationship with someone, you want to make sure that you guys are on the same page about what's going on, because you don't want to just let some. Okay, it's a difference between being controlling and then you guys just understanding and communicating.
Wednesdays is my girl's day.
Yeah, I'm about to go out with so and so. Not because there's some situations where people don't want to tell people their business and they just do whatever, and then you be like, oh, you was out on so and so doing. I thought. You gotta kind of communicate. You gotta let people know what's going on, and you should be able to do it whenever you want to, but just communicate it to your partner.
I don't think it necessarily has to be scheduled. In my opinion, I just feel like because I think most people's lives are it changes. Things change. So Wednesdays might not. I don't live in a world where Wednesday is just going to be fit for me.
Or your friends might not. Yeah.
So it's just like, hey, girl, you want to get together on Thursday? What day is good for you? And it's like, hey, we're not doing it. I'm going to go out with so and so on Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, but I feel like. It's whatever. If we have something planned together, then we have something planned together. If we don't have something planned together, and you have a husband that plays golf,
you can do what you want.
You can go play golf.
But if you're in a relationship with someone that needs to be under you, you gotta plan it, because in my mind, if you want that relationship to last and stay, it has to be a conversation. It has to be set things, because that will give that individual an opportunity to get their mind right or get used to, okay, I'm just saying.
I understand both parts. I understand both parts because it is, but I understand both parts. Maybe it could be something that's loosely scheduled, or the thing that's solid is your plan with your person. If I know every Friday, Karonica and her husband are at date night, I know not to ask her to go out to dinner on Fridays because that's her day with her husband. So maybe, I understand having some of it structured because, I'm typically a person who doesn't talk on the phone in the evenings when I'm home with my family.
No, you don't.
Because it's like, okay, this time is actually designated to quality time with the children or cooking and being present. But then if I get a call and one of my cousins wants to go or my sister wants to go to Korean barbecue, I'm going to Korean barbecue. So, if it's my normal family time, it's like, hey, y'all, look, dinner's already done. I'm going out. So you can randomly do stuff too. Like I just don't agree that you have to be so structured to the point where it's like a chore or a uniformed like thing.
Unless you both are like that.
Yeah.
Now if you both are like, oh, you gotta tell me you can't do this, and you both are like that to each other, then it may work out for you like that.
You guys, I mean, it's all of it, because there's going to be sometimes it's spontaneous, of course, and y'all don't have nothing planned, but then it's other times that it makes sense to where if somebody told you, hey, I want to hang out with you on next week, this date and this time, you have a plan with this person.
Yeah.
Now that plan should be relayed to your partner.
So how do you constructively tell someone that you enjoy them, but it's overkill with the amount of like in your faceness? How do you politely say, I require this amount of me time in my life?
I think you just did a great job by saying that. Why does it have to be so angst or stressful just to have a conversation about what you like, what you don't like, what is troubling you?
Just be real.
It goes back to, I always say, and y'all got on me about, checking a pulse every 30 days. You have to check the pulse. I don't care if it's 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Because if you don't, then things linger. They carry over because you're in the house with someone you're not communicating with. And you're not expressing what's bothering you. So if you need time to do what you want to do, and that has never been discussed, there needs to be a conversation. And in that conversation, be honest. As you said, Shay, be truthful. Say what it is that you want. If you want 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, say that. And then again, that's a continuum conversation.
You need your apartment, I need my apartment.
And see, I think part of it is that you have to make sure your partner understands that me time doesn't mean I don't want to be with you. I may have had the craziest day at work, the worst time on the phone on the way home, and now I just need to spend some time alone to process my day. So I'm not carrying that stuff to you. Sometimes me time is not about, I just don't want to be around you. No, sometimes me time is your time to reset, your time to regroup, and to keep yourself balanced and recalibrate. So
me time seems stressful.
It shouldn't be.
I'm thinking like when you first start dating, these are the conversations that you have. Like, so how do you do you hang out with your friends, and how often? How do you feel if I hang? Like, those are the conversations to have. And I think when you have those conversations up front, you realize, okay, because you have those girls who are like, girl, I couldn't mess with him. He was a little bit too clingy.
Yes.
Like, or so if I think up front, if you have the type of, if you find out, like, if you're in a relationship with a traditional guy who feels like you should be home cooking 7 days a week, or if we're going to share the response. These are questions that, people saying, well, I got asked, but you have to ask these questions when you are dating, because you need to know what they expect, and they need to know what you expect.
That's true. But how many people are elevated and having those types of conversations in their 20s or early 30s before they've had an opportunity to grow up? Because the conversations I'm having now, 25-year-old Clarissa wasn't having those conversations.
I think a lot of people are now having those. I speak to women, and I'm listening to what they're saying. But that's like number one thing I've always been told to ask.
Right. And I was married in my 20s. I got married at 23. I was divorced at 33. Okay. So I worked and I left the home, but my husband at the time, he was an artist. But it was always understood, when I get home, I need my hour to undress, wind down, and let me process everything that I had to deal with at work, getting to work, getting back home, the people I had to deal with on public transportation, it was just an automatic. And it was one conversation. Hey, I love you, but when I come home, I need that hour.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to bring all of this into us in our home. And he was like, okay. So again, conversations.
As long as they're mature, though.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, like, I can have a conversation with somebody, and I have, and I think I'm relaying myself to this person how I feel about certain things, and then as time goes on, you realize they don't understand.
And you looking at them like, I said this
I did
3
not have
different
this
ways.
conversation with you.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
But you don't want to. But you can't say that. But you're just looking like, okay.
Or when you do say it like that, now you're mean. But it's like,
I
I said it nicely.
Or you being controlling.
I said it a different type of way, and you still keep not getting it. So now I have to say it with the tone that you don't like, or the facial expression that makes you feel something.
That's when you end up being single again because you can't deal with it.
Ooh, wow.
But that's what I think. Me time shouldn't be that difficult.
No.
It's like, okay, everybody has their me time. Everybody's me time looks different.
Yep.
Like
Yes.
if you are someone who Monday through Friday feel like you have to go out to the club, that might be a problem in your family.
Yeah.
But if you have somebody who's like, oh, their hobby is golf and their me time is golf, or I mean, even working out is considered to be a me time.
That's
Some
right.
people work out more than others, you know,
Right.
and
Right.
I think that you should be able to do what is your life. Just because you're attached to somebody does not mean you don't have your own dreams, your own things that
What
you
the
like.
word
Just because you
says.
like peanut butter don't mean I like peanut butter.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna eat it because you like it. Like I'm not. I mean, it's you shouldn't lose.
We're
yourself.
individuals.
Yes, you shouldn't lose yourself. So
Just because you
if
like scrambled eggs don't mean I have to eat scrambled eggs.
That's right.
You don't have to watch reruns of Little House on the Prairie with me.
Exactly.
But
Little House
I'm
on the
about to
Prairie.
watch Little House on the
Right.
Prairie.
For 12 hours.
Right.
And this is what I'm doing.
So I'm not mad. Like I'm not gonna make you sit there and watch this with me. This is what I like, and I'm gonna enjoy it. And first of all, if you don't like something, I'm miserable and I can't enjoy myself if you don't like it anyway.
Yes,
You
yes,
can go
yes,
to the other
yes.
TV. I'm okay.
And it's perfectly fine. And that's the thing, there's no resentment. If
laying up
you
next to you?
don't
I
want to do
was
the
just
thing I
getting
want
ready
to
to
do.
do that.
Look at that. Wait,
While you watching Little House on the Prairie.
You're like,
looking at you in your face. Look like this.
Yeah. No, you don't want that.
y'all know that.
No. And everybody's me time, like you said, is different because in my household, everybody's idea of me time is completely
different.
I'm talking, we couldn't be more different individuals in our house. And we do have I implemented a rule when I was a single person with one child. When I came in the house, I need 20 minutes of silence. And as my son got older, I'm like, he deserves it too, because I'm like, I got home from work and he's like, hey, look at this, sign this permission slip. And I'm like, look, give me 20 minutes. And then I realized I wasn't letting him have that same leeway. He'd come in the door and I'm like, take the trash out, do this. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody gets 20 minutes to do whatever. If you want to come in the house and eat, you want to sit and do nothing, you can do whatever you want before we start to interact, because everybody deserves that. But my me time is like Veronica said, Little House on the Prairie reruns are on, or anything I want to watch, I'm watching it.
Binging.
My husband would die if he had to watch 12 hours of Little House on the Prairie. And it's not offensive to me if he says, hey, I'm not going to be in there while you're doing that. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
Or what he likes to do, if I don't like to do that for a long period of time, I may poke in and, engage, but I don't mind if you want to do something that I totally don't want to do. So yeah, it should be about individualism and then coming together,
Do the things that you want to do together.
Yeah.
And those are.
Me time shouldn't be a cuss word.
No.
Yeah.
It should be actually a natural thing.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's natural in today's society. You would think it would be now since we went through COVID.
Yeah. Oh man.
But it's not.
I just feel like it was natural. Like if you want to, I guess I grew up in a household where me time was just something that we did. Like, if your mom wanted to go with her friends or stop by her friend's house, it's just like, hey, I'm over so-and-so's house right now. Or, chatting with your friends.
Yeah.
But I guess everybody doesn't live in that world. But if you have somebody that is, controlling, well, I guess those are things you need to look out for and realize that everything ain't cute. that looks
right.
cute. So you gotta be careful.
Look, girl, he called me 7 times since we've been hanging out. It's like,
yeah,
girl, he called you 7
all
times.
day long.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, where you at
don't
now?
like that attention?
Where you at now? Where you at?
Yeah.
5 minutes late, where you at? I just turned the corner.
I'm in the same space.
Yes.
From 30 seconds ago.
You gotta be careful.
I love attention.
I like
Attention's
attention.
cool. Just too much attention becomes annoying.
Smothering.
Because why would you? Okay, if you know that I am out,
like attention.
if you're out, if I say, hey, I'm going out with my friends, and 30 minutes later, you're blowing my phone up, and you know I'm in the middle of a dinner.
What
with
time
my
you think you're
friends.
gonna be home?
That to me, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna say weird, and I know to me it's like okay because now 2 or 3 hours later you're saying, hey, I'm just checking to make sure. Let me know you're on the way home because I want to make sure you get home or whatever.
I was just getting ready to get to that. Okay.
30 minutes later, and then you keep calling me in the middle of the dinner.
Yeah.
And you have nothing to say. You ain't.
Yeah,
saying,
that's the thing too.
They're missing you.
Stop it, Tarvis.
They're missing you.
You're being a devil's advocate.
I mean, that could be.
They're missing you.
That could be a problem. So I'm just.
You want to make sure ain't nobody else there because if the dude that you sitting with at the dinner noticed that he's calling you a whole bunch of times, then he realized that
she might have some baggage I don't want to give.
I'm just saying.
That don't seem like a grandmother calling her that many times.
Yeah, that ain't your mama.
And if that's her kids, that's a problem too because they've called 87 times.
See.
I might not need to.
Yeah, because those are things and I'm glad you said that because those are things people teach your kids. I mean, even me growing up, your mom be like, if you call me one more time while I'm out, or wait till I get home and so you're teaching your kids space and when I'm gone at the store, you let me know what you want before I leave because when I'm gone. So I think that should go for everybody. Like I said, you have those moments like, oh, I forgot to do this, or when you come home, can you stop and do that? But it should be short and sweet. But if you call me 5 times, like a panic call, and I pick up the phone and no one has,
anything to say,
no one's hurt.
So what you doing?
Yeah, and we have to understand that me time is part of self care because even
it's part
of self care because and me time does not mean I don't like other people in the space with me, but sometimes you have to. Me time doesn't mean just one person. Me time. Look, I have said, and this is like sometimes I guess considered taboo, but in my life, if my husband decided that he wanted to go to get himself a hotel room for the night every 3 months, I actually said that we should. And most people are like, girl, that's crazy. I'm like, no. If he wants to, I think that people deserve quiet time. I think people deserve alone time because you discover you deserve self-discovery time. And even though you could be in your house still getting the quiet time, no, not when the kids are knocking on the door every 5 minutes, or sometimes you just need to be alone. And that's perfectly fine. That doesn't mean you're exiling yourself or people from your space. Self-care time sometimes equals quiet time.
Yes, and I think too with the me time, it's a recharging of you. Yep. Because you want to be the best version of yourself for your significant other, for your kids. So to have an individual you're in a relationship with to not want that, that's disheartening. Because I'm like, don't you want them to be the best version of them? You want to give them that space. Because they may be going through something that they're not ready to tell you about.
I think ultimately, like you said, it comes down to having a conversation. Karonica said it, Shay said it, you said it, and I think I've related in a different fashion too. You just have to be relaying your needs
in the beginning.
And be very clear. And when your partner or yourself evolves, it just requires a conversation. Hey, look, I used to love that 24 hours a day, nose to nose contact. But now that we're 5 years in, I legit love hanging out with you. But I actually could only do that for 1 day a week. And I'm fine with that. So I think it's just conversations and being respectful and not just flipping the script on people. So self-care and me time are synonymous.
Yes.
And everybody should be afforded the opportunity to have it.
Everybody.
And the final thoughts, Shay? Those were Clarissa's?
My final thoughts is just be respectful. Watch your tone and how you speak to your partner in these times of trying to understand what is and what isn't.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it anyways when it comes to that.
Karanka?
Date. when you meet people, date, and what they show you, take it as it is. If you can't handle it in the beginning, it's not going to go anywhere. If anything, it's going to elevate. So just, ask those hard questions.
You're going to be handcuffed to the bed at night.
Ask those hard questions. And these aren't hard questions. These are simple questions. It's like asking what's your last name.
Right.
Yeah.
So these are questions you should ask in the beginning of dating so that you can know if this person is compatible for your life that you want to live.
All right. Well, my final thought is always going to be conversation. Conversation. Don't be afraid to have them. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell us what you think. And as always, we appreciate you joining us here at Conversations and Opinions. Have a great evening. Bye.